Hey everyone, so today, as promised, I have my new video for you, and it is Look Ma, No Knees. So that is a video sequence that I promised some of you that I would put together for those of you who've had knee replacements, knee injury, you're experiencing some knee pain, and you can't get down and put any kind of weight on your knees. So I put together a standing sequence. I will show you. You can have a chair off to the side, and you can use that as a prop. So I'm excited to show it to you, and I hope the lighting is okay because, you know, my lighting person didn't show up today. No, I don't have any of that. It's just me. I barely know what I'm doing with this lighting. That's a whole other video. All right, so let's get started. Tadasana is the foundation pose. It's also known as mountain pose, but it's a foundation pose for all yoga poses. And the logic behind that is because you start from the ground up, and the roots or the ground has to be stable, or everything else isn't really stable, right? It's kind of like a foundation. If the foundation of the house isn't stable, then everything else is out of whack. So the purpose is to have a good, stable foundation for stability, and for safety, and for proper alignment. So looking down, check out your toes. Maybe lift your toes up, spread them wide, drop them back down to your mat, and maybe rock forward and back just a moment. You're trying to find the midpoint of the balance between the front and the back, and then splaying the feet out and back in, out and in to find the midpoint from outer and inner. So once you have that established, we can start to move up. Your knees have a micro bend to them. Okay, they're not locked out, not hyperextended. Tailbone is neutral, slight tuck, abs drawn in, rib cage up, chest up, shoulders up, down and back, and the crown of the head reaches up towards the ceiling or the sky. That doesn't mean that you look up, it just means that it's nice and tall. You have a nice tall spine. So the hands turn towards the front of the room, and that's Tadasana, mountain pose. So the next pose that we're going to move into is Warrior One. So again, starting from the feet. You can step up towards the front of your mat, and you're going to take a big step back with the right foot. You're not going to come behind the other foot. It's like you're on two railroad tracks. So you're going to come back, and the toes of the back foot are at 45 degree angle. So they're kind of pointing towards the front edge of the mat, not straight to the side. Okay, so I'm turned towards the front, and when that feels good, okay, you can bend the left knee. Now, if the knee comes out over the toes, think about walking the toes. If you have a chair, you have something or a wall, you can do that and walk up. Okay? So you want to have the knee over the ankle. If that feels good, nice and tall, chest rises up. I like to keep the hands on the hips for a moment. And if that feels good, then we bring the arms up. We don't bring the shoulders up by the ears, but we just bring the arms up. And look up. If that doesn't feel stable, look straight ahead. Okay? And breathe. Taking a big inhale here. And exhale. If you're wobbling all over, that's okay. You're just starting out. They call it yoga practice for a reason. Practice, practice. So don't judge yourself. Just try it. And breathe. Don't hold your breath. So take one more breath here. Inhale. And exhale. You can straighten the leg. Lean forward and come to step to the top of your mat. So we will do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to turn around because I want you to see how this looks if you have to glance without having it closed off to the other side of the wall. So coming back up, hands on the hips, standing up nice and tall. Take a big step back with the left foot. Okay? You can shorten your stance if you need to. It's all about stability. So you find what makes you stable. There's a wall here. Hold on to a wall. I probably should be closer to it instead of leaning all the way over into it. But so taking a check back with the feet. Okay. And making sure that the toes are pointed towards the front. And I can start to bend that knee. Okay. So once I have that set, nice and tall, I feel good. I feel like I'm pretty rooted here. Then the arms come up. Looking straight ahead and breathing. So taking a nice big inhale and exhale. Notice my thumbs are pointed towards the back of the room, fingertips up towards the sky. Okay? Maybe take a glance down, see if you can see your big toe on the right side. And one more breath. And exhale, bringing the hands down and coming to stand at the top of the mat. So that is Warrior One. Good job. All right, so we have Tadasana and we have Warrior One. So moving into Warrior Two. So Warrior Two, wherever you are, if you're standing in the center of your mat, what you can do is take a step forward with your left foot. Okay? Keep the leg straight. Back toes, this time the back toes point towards the side of the wall. Maybe inch. Whatever feels good. If you have to be closer, be closer. If you have to be back here, if that feels good, do that. You can have a chair to hold on to if you want. Okay? Nobody gets any points deducted. If you have to touch a wall, you have to touch a chair, right? This is about you. It's not about what you see on Instagram. It's not about what you see anywhere else. All right? So, okay. So, once you have that set, then you can work into bending the front knee. And again, knee over ankle, okay? And shoulders, arms out. And then you can bring the arms into play, okay? Glancing back over your right fingertips, making sure that the arm is raised a little bit, sometimes without realizing it's down here, we don't realize it. Bring it up. And then glancing about 2 inches past the front of the left fingertips. Think about a tug of war where, you know, front's pulling you, back's pulling you, back's winning just a little bit, and that's to prevent you from collapsing forward, okay? Maybe roll the shoulders up, back and down. Up, back and down. Glancing down, making sure you can see your big toe on the left side. You might feel your quads start to burn a little bit. It's okay. Take a big inhale. If it gets really bad and you're thinking, oh my God, is this almost over? Pop up for a second. And then pop back down, okay? Till you get started. Inhale and exhale. Good. Straighten that leg and come to step to the top of your mat. So that's Warrior Two. So guess what? We're going to do that on the other side. So again, I'm turning around. You don't have to turn around. You can stay where you are. So this time, taking a big step back with the left foot. Toes point, whoa, see? It happens to all of us. The toes point towards the side of the wall. And getting set up. Bring the knee forward. Okay? Once you're nice and stable, the arms come up. Bring the shoulders up, back and down. Glancing over the back, checking things out. Glancing over the front, checking things out. And then settling into it. Keeping the mind present. You can do that through thinking about your inhales and exhales. And you can also do that by doing a checklist. Glancing down, checking to see if you can see that big toe, drawing the abs in, bringing the chest up. You can do all sorts of checklists to keep you present. It works great. We'll take one more breath. And exhale. And straightening the leg and stepping to the top of your mat. So that's Warrior Two. The next pose I want to show you is triangle. I know we're going through a couple of these poses. Bear with me. We will put it all together at the end. And we will do a little bit of a flow. So you'll see how it all works. All right, so the next one is triangle. So moving back into that Warrior Two position. So say you're just standing in the middle of your mat. Come there if you're not there. Step forward with the left foot. And the right foot comes back. Toes point towards the wall. Front knee bends. Okay. Again, Warrior Two. Arms come up when you're ready. Now, moving into triangle, bending that front leg. I'm throwing my hip back, kind of. I mean, don't throw it out of whack, but. So I'm leaning forward as far as I can go, almost as if I want to touch the front of the room, but I can't quite get there. You'll never get there. And then I start to bring that hand down. That hand could come down to the thigh. It could come down to the shin. It could come down further. Everybody thinks, well, not everybody, a lot of people think that I gotta get to the floor because that's what I saw on Instagram. That's not how it is. So start off with it right down, maybe right down on the calf. You don't want to rest on your knee. So let's try right on the shin. So let's get that action on the shin and then bringing the hand up, because the action is about the twist and the opening of the chest, not how far down you can get. So if I try to go all the way down, you see how I start to close, right? Well, I might be down here, but that's not doing me a bit of good. So coming back up, now I can get that action. So taking a couple breaths here. The knee has a micro bend to it. It's not locked. It's not hyperextended. I tend to keep mine a little bit of a loose bend. Just feels better for me. If you can't breathe, then maybe come up a little bit. And then coming back into warrior two. And then coming to stand. So we're kind of like in a wide stance here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to switch sides. So this toe points towards this side. These toes point towards the side of the wall. Coming down. It just prevents us from having to do all that stepping. And then bringing the hands up. Okay. Straightening that leg on the inhale. And exhale, leaning forward, reach, 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 reach. And then dropping down and opening up to triangle on this side. You can be looking up. You could look straight ahead. And you can look down. Whatever helps you feel the most stable, where you can be in this pose. And breathe. Again, if you're like, I can't breathe, come up. Don't rest against the knee, but rest against the thigh. You actually get better return. If you have any blocks at home or, maybe some books, you can put them next to you. And then coming up to warrior two. And then coming to stand. And that is triangle. Woohoo! We're rocking and rolling through these things, aren't we? So we've done Tadasana, warrior one, warrior two, triangle. We have 2 more to go. So if you're like, oh my God, if you put a gun to my head, I would know which was the difference between warrior two and warrior one. That's why we record it. That's why it's all on video. So don't worry about it. I will guide you through it. Okay, so we're going to step into side angle. So we're in the middle of our mat. Turning towards the front. Taking a step forward with the left foot. And the right foot comes back. You're in warrior two legs. So the back leg, toes point towards the side of the room or towards the camera in this case. And the front knee bends. Arms come out. So you're in warrior two. We're starting there. So you're going to bend that front elbow and drop it down onto right above the knee, on your thigh. And then you're going to take this back arm and sweep it down, almost like you're going to graze your fingertips on the mat. And you're going to bring it up. So your biceps are by the ear, and then you're going to open up just a little bit, okay? You are pouring some weight into your arm, into your thigh, but try to work on maybe not doing that as much, not collapsing, and breathe. Gaze could be straight towards the side wall, could be up towards your fingertips. You can be looking straight and down. Again, it's about stability, whatever makes you feel like you have the most balance. In the beginning, it might be nice to be close to a wall or a chair. So if you have to touch, you can touch. And if you come out of this and you stumble, so what? Just go back into it. It's practice. That's what it's called. Yoga practice, not yoga perfection. And then coming back up to warrior two, and then back to standing. Still in somewhat of a wide leg. Turning the feet. Warrior two legs on this side. Coming down. Coming. And once you're set here, bending that front elbow. Fingertips come down towards the mat. Sweep up. And then open a little bit. And breathe. Decide where you want your vision to go. If you find your mind is wandering, God bless you. But if it does, focus on your breathing. Okay? Actually, my hands should be closer to my ear. And just breathe. So big inhale and exhale. So we'll come up, warrior two, and then come to stand. So this time bringing the feet all the way together, hip width apart. Hip width means the hip bones, not the outer part of the hips. So your hip bones are right about here. So you want your feet right underneath there. Think skeleton, right down from the bones. We're talking about bones and not flesh. So starting to pour the weight into your right leg, and careful not to collapse out, but staying, drawing the abs in, chest up. And maybe you just stay here. Maybe you turn the knee open and keep the toes down and rest the heel against the calf. And that's your tree today. And that's perfectly fine, especially if it's your first one. If you're like, I think I got this, let me try. So then think about coming up on your tiptoes. Again, not collapsing, but staying nice and tall. And then maybe bringing it up against your calf. You don't want to rest it against the knee though. And then if that feels good, bringing hands together. I'm going to come out of this, but you try to stay there. So another option is putting tippy hands, tippy fingers right here. So you have something maybe to touch if you have to, if you get a little wobbly. It's okay. My husband doesn't like to do tree pose because he says he's no good at it. I said, I know you have to practice. It takes practice. It takes practice. Don't give up on something just because you don't think you're good at it. And then coming back down, okay? So maybe walking your legs out just a little bit. And we're going to take tree on the other side, you guessed it. So starting to pour the weight into your left foot. Again, standing up nice and tall, not collapsing out to the side, hands on the hips, and just play with the toe action on the right side. Just tippy toes. Take your time. If you try to go into these poses too fast, you're going to lose your balance. So take your time. So if that feels good, and maybe you're able to lift up. Again, toes could rest on the floor. They call that kickstand tree. Kickstand, I think. Perfectly fine. Maybe inching up, the calf on this side. I'm staying here for now, and later on we'll move into full tree. But for right now, I want to stay here because I want you to get the action and get the feeling. If you feel a wobble, it's okay. If you fall out of it, so what? Come back into it, all right? Let's come back into it. Touch the chair if you have to. If it feels good, hands to come, hands can come to heart center. And feel that shake. Breathe, don't hold your breath. Holding your breath doesn't do you any good. All right. And we'll take one more breath. And coming out. Good, excellent. Yes. All right, so that was tree pose. So we're rocking it out of the park today. So we have Tadasana, Warrior 1, Warrior 2, Triangle, Side Angle, and Tree Pose. So we have 6 poses that we learned today. That's excellent. So we're going to put it into a little bit of a flow. Just hang in there with me. It'll be fine, I promise. So coming and standing in Tadasana. Okay. And then turning towards the front of your mat. If you're in the center, that's fine. And we're going to move into Warrior 1 by taking a big step forward with your left foot and then a little step back with your right foot. Again, toes on the right foot point towards the front of the mat. Arms come up when you're ready. You can see your left toe. And take 2 breaths here. We'll take 3 breaths. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And take one more inhale. And on your exhale, shifting that back foot so it points toward the wall. And arms come out to a T for Warrior 2. Take a big inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, straighten that front leg. Reach forward and exhale as you come down towards the shin and open up. Breathe. Inhale, Warrior 2. Exhale, bending that front arm and sweeping the arm down and up for side angle. Breathe here. One more breath. And coming into Warrior 2. And come to stand. Pouring the weight into the right leg. Start to bring the toes up, hands on the hips. and finding your variation of tree, whatever variation works. If you fall out, it's fine. Let's try it again. Take some practice. And one more breath here. And then coming out of it. Facing the opposite side of your mat, coming forward, and taking a big step back with your left foot. Toes point towards the front of the mat, the front corner of the mat, coming into warrior one, bending that front knee, making sure you can see your toes. Arms come up. Breathe in and out. Shoulders are relaxed. Take one more breath. If you feel like, oh, I had to straighten my leg, it's killing me, that's fine. Just come back down into it. And big inhale here. And exhale, opening up to warrior two, changing the position of your back foot so that it's forward towards the mat. Towards the side wall. And then inhale, straightening that leg. And exhale, reaching forward and dropping down. Breathing. Inhale, coming back to warrior two. And exhale, bending that front arm, sweeping the arm down, up for extended side angle. And then exhaling into warrior two. And then coming to stand. Bringing your feet in close together. And pouring your weight into your left foot. And your toes come up, hands on your hips. And then maybe your toes stay here. Or maybe it comes up a little higher against your calf. And when you're ready, hands to heart center. And breathe. Again, feel free to touch a chair or a wall. No points off. Back nice and tall. Pressing foot into shin, shin into foot. Or calf. Shins to front. See, I just threw myself off there. And then coming back down. Excellent. You guys did great.